When the soldiers fled in fear, only the human remained, defending the alien queen with unwavering courage. The skies above Orexis 9 burned crimson. Firestorms tore through the alien city's silver spires as the thunder of plasma cannons echoed across the dying plains. The human expeditionary corps had landed months ago, sent to secure peace between the fractured alien empires and the coalition of worlds. Instead, they had walked into a civil war, one that was far beyond their understanding. Among those soldiers was Captain Elias Ward, a battle-hardened veteran with a reputation for defiance. His orders were clear: protect the diplomatic envoy and ensure the survival of the Queen of the Volari, a powerful alien monarch whose alliance could tip the balance of interstellar politics. But as the flames rose higher, Elias realized that peace was no longer the mission. It was survival. The fall of the palace. The palace of the Volari shimmered like liquid glass, a structure woven from living metal that pulsed with faint light. Inside its grand hall, the Queen's guards were already breaking formation. Terrified, they shouted in their native tongue, their voices trembling as the enemy breached the outer walls. Elias stood at the heart of the chaos, rifle gripped tight, his armor scorched from battle. Around him, alien warriors in iridescent armor faltered. The Volari were proud and elegant beings, but not built for the brutal close-quarters combat humans had mastered. "Stand your ground," Elias shouted, his voice echoing through the hall. "If we lose this room, she's dead, and so are we." But courage could not be commanded. The guards, terrified of the Dravik marauders, monstrous hybrids born from genetic warfare, threw down their weapons and fled. The Queen's personal guard abandoned her throne, leaving only echoes in their wake. Elias turned, jaw tightening. The Queen, cloaked in luminescent silk, stood behind her throne. Her silver eyes watched him, not with fear, but something deeper. Acceptance. "Your kind fights for pay," she said softly. "Yet you stay." Elias reloaded his rifle with a sharp click. "Not for pay," he said. "For what's right." The enemy within. The first Dravik broke through the archway, a towering beast of muscle and metallic sinew. Elias fired. Plasma bolts tore through the creature's chest, splattering dark blue ichor across the walls. But for every one that fell, 2 more surged forward. He fought like a storm. Each breath, each movement was honed through decades of war. He moved between fallen pillars, using their glow as cover, buying seconds for the Queen to flee. But she did not move. Instead, the Queen stepped beside him, her hands glowing with blue energy. The air vibrated as she unleashed a psychic blast that sent 3 Dravik soldiers crashing into the walls. For a moment, Elias forgot to fire, stunned by the sheer power of her will. "You can fight," he muttered. "I can defend," she replied, voice trembling. "But my strength wanes the longer I remain on this dying world." Then she stumbled, and he caught her before she hit the ground. The escape below. Beneath the palace ran a labyrinth of tunnels carved by the Volari centuries ago. Elias carried the weakened Queen through the dark, guided by flickering alien glyphs that shimmered faintly on the walls. Each step echoed like a heartbeat, each breath heavier than the last. "Why didn't you leave with the others?" she asked quietly. "Because," Elias said, "they weren't the ones I swore to protect." She looked at him, her expression unreadable. "You are human. You owe me nothing." "Maybe not," he said, "but I don't run when others do." A distant explosion rumbled through the tunnels. Dust fell from the ceiling. The Dravik were following. Elias set the Queen down behind a fallen column and checked his ammo. 2 clips. Maybe enough for a minute of sustained fire. He looked at her, then at the shadows moving closer. "Stay behind me," he said. "No matter what happens." The siege below the stars. The tunnel lit up with the flash of plasma fire. Elias took down the first wave with surgical precision, his movements automatic, efficient, born from years of loss. Every time he thought he'd fought his last battle, fate threw him another. The queen whispered ancient words, her voice trembling. The air shimmered with psionic energy, forming a fragile barrier around them. It crackled and flickered as the Dravik hurled energy grenades, but it held, barely. "You fight as if you wish to die," she said over the roar. Elias grinned, teeth glinting in the flashes of light. "Not today." A plasma bolt seared past his shoulder, grazing his armor. The shock threw him to the ground. Pain tore through his arm. Still, he forced himself up, firing with his uninjured hand until the rifle hissed empty. The last Dravik fell, smoke rising from its armor. For a moment, silence. Then the queen collapsed. The queen's truth. Elias knelt beside her, heart pounding. "Stay with me," he said. Her breathing was shallow. "You don't understand, human. I am not meant to live beyond this world's fall. My bond is with the planet itself. When it dies, so do I." Elias's jaw tightened. "Then I'll save the damn planet if I have to." Her eyes glimmered. "You cannot, but you can save what remains." She reached out, pressing her hand to his chest. A wave of warmth flooded through him, visions flashing before his eyes. The Volari cities before the war. The lush forests. The children laughing beneath twin suns. Then fire, ruin, and silence. "You carry our memory now," she whispered. "Even if I perish, we will not be forgotten." Elias gripped her hand. "You're not dying. Not while I'm breathing." The final stand. The Dravik had regrouped. Dozens now flooded the tunnel entrance. Elias propped himself against the wall, loading his sidearm, the last weapon he had. He looked at the queen one last time. "If they break through, run." "I will not leave you," she said. He chuckled. "Now you sound human." The Dravik charged. Elias fired until his weapon overheated, then swung it like a club. He fought until his strength failed, until every movement burned. The queen cried out, summoning what remained of her power. The tunnel glowed with blinding light. Then silence. When the light faded, the Dravik were gone. So was the roof of the tunnel. Above them, the sky opened, revealing the burning horizon of Orexis 9. Elias collapsed beside the queen, smoke rising from his armor. "You did it," he said weakly. "No," she whispered. "We did." The morning after, when Elias awoke, the fires had burned out. The queen lay beside him, her form pale and fading, her bioluminescence dimming with the rising dawn. He sat up, ignoring the pain. "Stay with me," he said. "Help will come." "There is no help left," she murmured. "But there is peace." Elias looked around. The battlefield was silent. The Dravik were gone, their corpses scattered like ash. Only the two of them remained. The queen reached out, touching his face. "You stayed when all others ran." He swallowed hard. "Yeah, guess I did." Her eyes softened. "Then know this, human. You have the heart of a Volari." With those words, her light faded. Her body dissolved into a soft, silvery mist that drifted upward into the dawn. Elias sat in silence, watching as the first rays of sunlight touched the ruins of the palace. The world was dying, but in that moment, he felt something eternal. He took her crown, a crystalline circlet that shimmered faintly, and placed it beside his chest plate. Then, with slow steps, he walked toward the horizon.